Do you know why we give away interview questions to applicants before the interview? And do you know what evidence convinced me that this approach works? My name is Ravi Verma. I'm the org whisperer at orgwhisperers.com. And today I want to tell you how our hiring approach completely failed and what I learned from it and how I adapted, and a single incident that convinced me that the hiring process was working. So, first, I'll tell you the mistake. So, we had an opening in one of our companies, and I think we posted that opening on LinkedIn. We got 300 applications. Now, the solution became worse than the problem. How in the world are we going to look at 300 to 400 applications? Even though we did some kind of screening, we went through, hired a person, we had to let that person go within a few weeks. And this is not isolated. For another company, which was a SaaS company, similar approach, placed an ad, did everything we could in the interview process, the screening, had to let that person go after a few months. Very traumatic. So I realized the hiring approach we are using is not working. So we completely changed it. I started with the end in mind. What kind of an outcome do I want from my hiring process? I want to give you a real world example to illustrate the acceptance criteria or the goal of the hiring process. I just got back from a 1 month vacation where I completely unplugged. And I'm the CEO of three companies, two for profits, and one non-profit. Everything worked smoothly while I was gone, which begs a different question. What value am I adding? And I'm thinking about that right now. No drama. We had aligned on the outcomes. I come back. Each company, each team is working as a well oiled machine, which illustrates the kind of person I want as a result of the hiring process. I want someone who has alignment with our purpose, our values, is able to bring their best self to work, creates an environment where each one of us feels safe, we can be creative, and we can bring our best self to work, and can be kind, direct, compassionate, but also no BS. Can say what needs to be said in a kind and compassionate way. So we talk about what needs to be talked about. So now the question is, if that's the kind of person I want, how might I design a hiring process that helps us get this kind of talent, because this talent is rare? I knew what I did not want. I did not want the experience that some other tech companies, very large companies who I will not name, give to their applicants. What I've heard is horror stories that you show up for an interview, there are 4 or 5 people, and they're like attacking you from all directions. And just when you start doing well, there is some person called a bar raiser who now raises the bar double quotes and then asks you more challenging questions. I would hate to be in that interview. That is such a cruel and sadistic way to treat a human being, because it does not reflect the kinds of conversations we have in our company. When we have meetings, we are not trying to attack each other. We are not trying to find people who can give the best answer within a matter of nanoseconds. We are not trying to raise the bar. The conversations we have in our meetings are about purpose, values, about ethics, and what's the most effective way to take care of our customers, our users, our team, and our communities. These are thoughtful conversations, and these are conversations grounded in purpose and values. So, our interview process has to be reflective of our company process. And this is the reason we give away the questions in advance and we give people choices. If you are an introverted thinker like me and you prefer to organize your thoughts, think about it, and then put them down, look at the questions and answer it. Some people may prefer to just look at it but not answer it. That's cool. We don't want to blindside you with questions. These are the likely areas we will travel when we talk. So come prepared if you want to. And there may be someone like, come on, I don't want to prepare. I just want to show up. Let's see what happens. That's cool too. So there are three doorways. You can choose your own adventure. But we are hoping that this gives people a sense for our culture and it treats them with respect and dignity. So I want to leave you with a closing question. How would you feel if you applied to a company and this is how they treated you? Conversely, if you have power and privilege and you have the autonomy to design your company's hiring process, what are you taking away from this conversation? What resonates, what doesn't? Love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye.